Welcome back to Front-End Hero. So in the previous video, we created this little team area block here. And in today's video, we're going to create this little testimonials block that will have kind of an image here of the person who gave us this testimonial of one of our customers and the testimonial with their name and their kind of job role. One thing I think I'm going to do, instead of having this, what our clients are saying inside of this kind of block quote area, I'm just going to kind of add it up here instead because I think it'll probably look a little bit better. So, okay, let's dive right in. And I'm just going to open up my editor right now and start going at it. Okay, so inside of my index.html file, I'm just going to, again, save a bit of time here and copy this bit of code here from our previous block, which is the team members section, and then just tweak it for our new block. So down below that team member block there, copy and paste that in here now. And I'll say something like section ID is no longer team members, and it's probably going to be called Testimonials. I'll remove that class there for the background as well. So now we have a wrapper, and now we have this little text align center page 2. So again, instead of our team, we're going to replace that with just referencing the visual again. What our clients are saying. Maybe don't include the question mark. Sounds more of a, what are our clients saying? Like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave that out. So let's just say, what's our clients are saying, just like that. And then of course we add in our little grid here with a grid gap. Not that we really need that, but I'll leave it in for the moment. Okay, and then let's get rid of this guy here. And I'm going to give this a span of 4. So I'm just kind of feeling things out a bit. I might change that in a moment. I might not. I don't know. So there is number 4. Where is that down here? Okay, so if I save this again. Okay, we're all synced up. Okay, so here we are. What our clients are saying. And then we have this area here, 4. And then all I'm going to do is create the kind of corresponding section, which will be span probably 8. So that's a 12 column grid. And I'll just give this a little piece of text in here saying 8 ... Save that. So what can we say about this new area here? It's not exactly, it doesn't follow the kind of same format as previous kind of blocks here. So it's not full width in a sense because it doesn't kind of reach the wrapper. Same with all these guys here, they do. But this bit does not, the kind of thumbnail area here of the client. It doesn't go all the way here to the left. So we kind of need to compensate for that and bring it in a little bit. And yeah, I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit and see how it kind of will all work together. But let's carry on for the moment. So we've got our 2 spans in our, well, we've got a grid with 2 spans, span 4, span 8, which is absolutely fine. Now, basically what I'm going to do is, well, first of all, get rid of that dummy text there. So for the span 4 area, I'm going to create a new kind of inner area here that will hold our thumbnails. So I'm going to say, give it an ID first. So I'll give it a div of ID and I'll call this, well, testimonials or testimonial thumbnail wrapper. Bit of a mouthful, but it should do the job. So that's the wrapper that will hold all of our kind of images here, little thumbnails. Okay, so now inside I'm going to, how will we do this? Okay, so inside I'm going to give it another little div here and I'm going to call this class thumbnail. Actually, it's probably a bit too generic, and that's thumbnail. Maybe testimonial thumbnail. Just there. So testimonial thumbnail. Okay. And we're going to say, here is a kind of dummy image area. src. There we go. And then give it a little alt tag here. Profile photo of ... Okay, so now we have thumbnail wrapper, testimonial thumbnail, and the image. Let's just see what goes on here when we refresh. Okay, that's fine. So not a problem for the moment, and we'll source these images in a moment. So what else have we got here? Well, I think next I'm going to add in the content or the block quotes for this span 8 area, this other side of the grid. I'll remove that little piece of dummy text there also. And I think I'm just going to, I'll pop in a div, yes, another one, and I'll say testimonials area maybe. So do that there. Now, what we're going to do is actually add in our quotes here. So the reference again, we're going to just have a look here. So we've got here a quote, got some text, and we've got the name and the role. So pretty basic, but basically I'm going to follow the semantic format for this, which is something like figure. First of all, we'll start with the figure, and we'll say the class for this figure is going to be just quote. Close that there. Now we can add in our block quotes just there. And if I just do a quick test here, yes, okay, it's good. And then I'm going to add in some paragraph tags to make it nice and nicely formatted. So yes, yep, okay. We need some lorem ipsum here. So let me do that real quick. Now let's generate some text here, and let's just grab this guy here. Let's pop it all into our paragraph tag inside of our quotes, our block quotes. First of all, let's get rid of that. So save that, and there is our quote there. Lovely stuff. Now, actually, what I'm going to do is go back to lipsum.com and just create some, or copy some other text instead of the exact same sentence. So I'm going to do that there. And what I'll do, just while I have the tab open for lipsum.com, right, there we go. And I'll copy and paste it here for the time being. I'll copy and paste these guys, the figure, block quote, and paragraph tag, paste them in again, and then just kind of make these all in line. Okay, so that should, a bit more. Okay, close that paragraph tag off, then close off the block quotes, and finally the figure. Save that real quick, get rid of lipsum. Okay, so we have our two quotes here for the moment. This is probably a little bit long, actually, the first one. Let's get rid of this last piece here. Yeah, fine. Let's leave it like that. Now, all I'm going to do here is just get rid of this for the moment and give it a HTML comment just here. Okay, so now we have this hidden here, this second kind of quote, and now we'll just concentrate on the first one for the moment. We can format it, and then we can worry about the next one and so on. So now we have the left-hand side, the span 4 and the span 8 here, which actually is the quote. Now we've got the block quote. Now let's add in the fig caption. So as we said, we've got a figure here. And to make it nice and semantic, I'm going to say fig caption just there. And then I'm going to give it the user's name. So I'll say paragraph class is something like testimonial author. Let's add in that there real quick. Testimonial author. Okay. So the first person is, well, Robert, what is his name? It doesn't really matter, but Hicklum. Okay. So let's add in Robert Dunhill. Okay. Their name is now Robert Dunhill. Let's copy this paragraph tag, and for his role, we'll say testimonial job. Yeah, maybe something like that. And what actually is he? He is a managing director. Fantastic. Okay, so I'll say he is a managing director. Okay, save that real quick and let's see what we get. So that's fantastic. We've got all our content here for the quote. We've got our quote, we've got our name of the quote, and we've got our role of the person. Okay, I think next we should probably add in the profile photo of the person. Now, unfortunately, this template is like, well, it's a fair bit old. I have these people here referenced in unsplash.com with the correct attributions, but this guy here, I do not. So all I'm going to do is basically go back to unsplash.com and just search for portraits again. So portrait. So I'll pop that in. Any of these I think are fine. So I'll grab this girl here. I'll open that up. And who else here? There's our little friend again. Yeah, this guy, Robert Godwin. Let's just do him. Okay, so I'll use these two people. Save that, download free. Yes. Okay, that's one person there. I'll just bookmark this person so I remember her to give attribution. And this Robert dude here, so I'll save this as well. So that's downloaded, and bookmark him real quick. So I have these two people downloaded. I'm going to open up Adobe Illustrator and crop them real quick. Okay, so those images have now been downloaded and they've been edited in Adobe Illustrator, just like here. All I've done is basically create a little square here, 750 pixels by 750 pixels. Pop the person in, and then when I export it, it looks like this. Then I've just saved it into my folder here, which is here. We've got Testimonial Robert and Testimonial Clara. So let me just get rid of this tab here. Now we can just focus exclusively on our little block. Right, so let's remove the Explorer and let's pop in these photos now. So I'll say images, and we're gonna put in Robert first. So profile photo of Robert. Save that. Okay, fantastic. And maybe we can move this over slightly. Just like that. Right. Okie dokie. So now profile photo is there. And then we've got our quote here. So let me add the background to our block quote here first. Okay, so into our CSS, and I think you should know the drill at this point. Back up we go, and I'll just create a new little area in our table of contents. And this one is now number 15, and it is a block, and I'm going to call it Testimonials. Fantastic. Scroll all the way back down, and I'm just going to nab the previous one, which is our team, the little comment area here. Copy that. And paste it in just below. And then again, just rename it and renumber it. So Testimonials. Fantastic. Now, what is that actually? This is just called Testimonials, I believe, which it is. Let me copy that and create an ID here. Actually, hold on a second. No, that's correct. Yep. Testimonials. One pix red. There we go. Save. And that's fine. Okay, so Testimonials is here. And now we want to target this area here, as I say, the right-hand side, the block quote area. And that is called Testimonials area. No problemo. So let me do that now. So that's an ID, and that's Testimonials area. And again, another little test. Okay, why isn't... Oh, is that a class, maybe? No, it's an ID. So Testimonials area. Oh, so it took a while to kind of load here. So that's connected fine. Right. Actually, I could probably get rid of that border. Let's start by giving it a background. And the background color is this kind of corporate dark blue here, Synergy blue. So let me say, get rid of that first. And let me say var, and there it is there, primary color. Save, boom. Okie dokie. Now we need a bit of padding here all the way around it. Not a problem. I'm just going to say, well, not pass, padding. Let's give it a 50 pixel padding at the moment. Okay, that's not too bad. That's a pretty good attempt for right off the bat. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there for the moment, I think. So that's fine. Now, the text is all white. So let's just do a kind of wildcard on this, on all the text inside of our testimonials area. So I'll say testimonials area wildcard, and the color is white. Save that, and boom. Okay, fantastic. Now, let me see. Okay, so let's just reference this this visual real quick here. So we can see that there's a good bit of padding around this kind of block quote area here. And what in here, there's a bit more padding to the left. So we need to target the block quote here. And we could do that by saying, now we don't want to say global block quotes because we just want to focus on the testimonials block quotes. So I'll say testimonials inside the kind of parent here, and I'll say block quote. And you guessed it, there's another border. So that's fine there. Now, let's say padding for this area is padding left something like 30 pixels or 3 RAM. Yeah, I think that's fine for the moment. Let's see how it looks a little bit later, because we still have to add in this little whatever quote kind of icon as well, which kind of looks quite cool. Okay, so we've got our padding here. Let's leave the border in for the moment. That's fine. We have to sort these kind of guys out next, or do we? Actually, let me see. No, let's kind of sort the icon out first. Let's get that out of the way, because that's going to be a little bit taxing. So okay, so what do we need to do? The block quotes. We could stick in an icon, but I think I'm just going to create a pseudo element and say something like testimonials block quotes, and I'll say before, and do that there. First things first, let's give it a width and height of, let's say 20 pixels by 20 pixels, and make that a bit more readable. And let's say position is absolute. Give it a border, I guess, or a background color first. Oh, we need a little content as well, don't we? So content is blank, which is fine. Okay, cool. So that's there. And now we just need to say the position is left 0. Oh, it's a bit too much left. So the block quote needs a position of relative. Okay, so there we are there. Great. Now, I do know that Themify do have this icon, so I'm just going to have a quick peek here. And I'll type in maybe quote. Yeah, that's it. I think that's the same one. So that's it there. Quote right and quote left. Okay. Now let's see the code here for this, the ASCII code. And that is this guy here. So what I can do is just copy this. Content is this left quote here. And I can paste it in here. So content is this instead. And now I need to do the little trick of adding a font family of Themify. Okay, red there at the moment. Let's get rid of this background color of red here. And let's see how this looks now at the moment. Save that. It's loading. Oh, boom. Okay. That was pretty painless. Okay. So what have we got? That color is just, I guess, secondary color blue. Currently it's white, so that's no problem. We can just say color is var secondary color. Save that, and there we go. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So yeah, easy peasy. Now, what else do we need to do here? Well, while we're here, let's indent these guys here to be in line with this block quote. And let's sort out the padding or the margins here. And also kind of increase the heading here, or the size, and the, well, I think that's pretty much it for the moment. Okay, so we've got that here. We probably need to increase the size here as well for this block quote. But yeah, for the moment, let's say this area, which is a fig caption. Yep. Let's indent that also by, where is it? Padding left, yeah, 30 pixels. No problem. So I'll say fig caption. And again, I don't want it to be global. So I'm going to just use the parent testimonials to encase it inside. And I'll say just padding left is 30 pixels. Save that. Now it's all in line there. Okay, cool. Now, I am zoomed in a bit here just because there's not much kind of screen real estate, but I'm going to make it the correct size here. Command 0. And let me have a peek here. Yeah, the font is definitely bigger in the visual. So before I move on, let's just kind of tweak that a bit. And it's a paragraph tag, so let's change that. So inside the block quotes, testimonials P, yeah, block quote P. I'll say, so currently it should be 1.6, I believe. 1.6. So let's say that is now 1.8. So font size 1.8 rem. Maybe. Maybe is the answer to that. Maybe 1.7. Yes, it's just a touch, but I think it does make a bit of a difference. So that's fine. Let's leave it there for the moment. Now, let's concentrate on this person here on the paragraph tag, which is testimonial author. And let's just go in here, indent that a bit. Okay, so that is a paragraph tag. Now, just so I can see exactly what's going on, there's a border. Okay, now, I think here, actually, I will say this is bold. So font weight is bold. Yeah, great. And there will be no margin at the bottom. Bring that up a bit. Okay, cool. I think that's starting to look a bit like the visual here. What I might do, yeah, actually what I will do is, well, you'll have to find out. So testimonial author and then testimonial job. Yeah, job. So I'm going to say that doesn't need a border. Well, I don't want a border at the bottom as well because that's just kind of adding more padding down here. So I don't want to have a font weight. Save that real quick. Okay. What I think I'll do is just to say opacity is maybe 0.7 just to see what that looks like. Yeah. So it's just nice to kind of break it up a bit with the whole hierarchy of the block quote. So we have a kind of font here of 1.7 rem. Then we have, I guess this is 1.6 still rem, but it's bold. And then we have the job role. So main content name, which is, in bold, and then the managing director, kind of the job of the person. Normal paragraph 1.6 rem, but it's also kind of lightened up a bit, so not as in your face. So I think that works quite nice. We can now probably remove these borders, and yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it looks really good. So just having a quick peek again. 50 pixels seems okay, so we can leave that there fine. Okay, fantastic. Now let's concentrate on this area here. Okay, now this is block quotes testimonials area. Just so I can kind of keep things organized, I'll just say testimonials area. So that is the kind of right-hand side. Yeah. Now, above that, I'll say the left-hand side is testimonials, thumbnails. Just there. Okay. And we need to target testimonial thumbnail wrapper. And that is an ID. Okay. So I'll do that first. And again, I make no apologies. Red pixel borders for everything. Okay, so that's fine there. There's a bit of a border down here, a bit of a margin, but that's just because we probably need to display block on this image here, which we can do in a moment. Okay, so let's position it like this guy here. So it's overlapping here by maybe, I don't know, 40 pixels, something like that. And we can do that. Well, I say we can do that. I hope we can. No, we can do that by testing. Okay, so let's just have a little think how we're going to attack this kind of problem here. So the visual here, we've got, this is the wrapper here, which is a testimonial thumbnail wrapper. That's fine. Now, we also have these buttons here that when we click left or right, the content is going to change and a new person will show up with a new testimonial. If we add these buttons in here, which will be position absolute, I'm guessing, this image here will probably be position relative, maybe. Well, let's test it out a little bit. Okay, so first of all, we have this here with our image displaying quite nicely. Well, let's try and position this first. So I want this in here. And let's see how we do that. So testimonial thumbnail wrapper. And I'll just say, again, position absolute. Let's see what that does first off. Okay, that's cool. So position absolute. Now, let's give it a width and a height. Let's say 200 by 200. Okie dokie. Now, let's position it to the... No, that probably won't work because let me move this down a bit. So we've got our grid here and we've got our span 4 here and yeah, and our span 8 here. I think it would be probably easier if we basically don't mess around with this area here, this position absolute area and this width here, because I do want it here and then I can just move it to the side a bit. So I'll create a subdiv. Yeah. Okay, so bear with me. So what I'm going to do is say testimonial thumbnail wrapper. And then underneath this, I'm going to say another area is the area we kind of want to move with position absolute is testimonial thumbnails or thumbnail navigation, something like that there. Okay, and then let's pop this in here now. So this thumbnail, what's it called? Testimonial thumbnail. Okie dokie. So save that. Okay, now let's change the CSS a bit. So we want to remove what we just put in here, which is position absolute and the width and height. Okay, so we're back to basics now, back to kind of baseline here. And now I'm going to target, let me just pop these guys in. Yeah, so I'm going to target the new div we just added, which is testimonial thumbnail navigation. And I'll pop this in just below here, which is our sub div. And let me close this here. Okay, so if I save this now, what do we get? Okay, that's fine. Now, so this div here is inside of this area with the red border, which is testimonial thumbnail wrapper. Perfect. Now, well, let's see here. If I say position relative and make this a height here of the parent, which is 100%. Okay, cool. So now it's back to being kind of the same height here as our block quote area. So now let's position this guy here over here. Okay, so let's position this profile photo to the right here first and say right is 0 and goes up here. Fantastic. Now we want to overlap it. So I'll say position actually is 75 pixels. Maybe 70. Let's see how we get on there. Okay, quick check at the visual. That's whatever that is, maybe 50, 60 pixels, 70 maybe. And here, that probably looks about right. Okay, so we need to kind of move this block quote in a bit more. Or, let me see, maybe we could just move, where are we? Maybe we could just move this testimonials area. I think I can do that instead. That's no problem. Okay, so where's 50 pixels? There it is there. So testimonials area. So let's expand this out a bit. Let's flesh this out a bit more. And so 50 top, right-hand side, bottom, and left. Let's say not left is something like 90 pixels. Okay, that works quite nicely indeed. Yeah, I think that could work. Let's leave that there. Okay, so now we need to kind of vertically align this guy here, this profile photo. Not a problem. So we've got width 200, height 200, right is 70 pixels. And we're going to use our old friend transform. Translate only the Y section, and we'll say minus 50%, top 50%. Save that. Bish bash bosh. Okay, fantastic. So that solves that there. And then quick look again. Okay, so we can see here, there's quite a lot of padding here around this block quote, which I really, really like. And here, not so much because we moved this area up here, this heading. Not a problem. Let me just check this job here. Yep. Okay, it's fine. So that's not a problem, but I think I'm going to add a bit more padding in all the way around. So I'll say padding is 70 pixels top, 70 pixels bottom. Well, I guess 70 pixels to the side too. So yeah, now a nice little area to showcase our testimonials. Fantastic. Now, what have we got next? We have these little buttons here, and that's kind of it. Okay, so we're getting there. Now, I think the next step would be, which we haven't really discussed too much because it is interactive. It's kind of going to be a bit of a slider. And yeah, when we click these buttons here, left, right, this is going to showcase a new kind of testimonial. And the library I'm going to use for this is something I've been using for years, and that is called slick.js by Ken Wheeler. So I'm going to use this. And the first thing I need to do is to download it or use a CDN. And I can type in something like slick.js CDN. Yep, can use that. And there it is there. So there is the JS file. Copy the URL for that. And in our index.html file, I'll paste it in at the bottom here. Not the very bottom, just after maybe the jQuery library. So I'll paste that in and I'll just encase it in a script tag. So script type is text.js. I don't believe I actually need this, but I'm just going to leave it in anyway. So JavaScript. Okay. And the src is the URL that we just pasted in. Encase that, save. Okay. So that script file now for the slick.js carousel is installed. And now we need, let's say the Slick theme, maybe slick.css. So let's copy the slick.css real quick. Copy URL. Okay. And actually, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's fine. So we just need the kind of bare basics here. That's no problem. So we can say, oh yeah, so we already have a folder here called CSS. And I'll just create a new file in here and I'll just call it slick.css. And then get rid of that. And then just paste in, oh, no, not that. There we go. I can just copy in this code here now, this CSS. So I'll do that, save that. And in our index.html now we need to include this CSS file. And I'll include it just after the hamburger.css and call it Slick. Okay, so back to the slick.js website. Now this carousel is fairly fully featured. It has a lot of options, which I've played with over the years. And I kind of know this plugin a fair bit. So I'll reference it if I need to, but for the moment, I think I'm just going to dive in and kind of link up our area here to this slider. So into our main.js file here, what have we got? I'll expand this a little bit here. So we've got our previous code in here. And I'll just pop this new code for our kind of testimonials area down here. And I'll just call it testimonials carousel. Okay, so what do we want to do first? Well, let's declare a variable for this testimonials area. And I'll just say, where are we? Copy that main.js. So I'll say const, maybe testimonials slider is equal to, and because we're using jQuery a fair bit, and this plugin, this slick.js is jQuery, or it's built on jQuery, I'm going to say jQuery is testimonials area. So that's testimonials slider there. Okay, now we've got another section we need to target, which is the thumbnail slider, testimonial thumbnail. And that is, where are we? Down here. Okay, so that is testimonial thumbnail. Okay. Actually, testimonial thumbnail navigation. I probably need to create another div in here And this will be for the images that will kind of slide or fade in, however which way we want to kind of control the carousel for these images. So I'll create a new ID here, and I'll call it testimonial thumbnails, plural. I think that probably is a good idea. And then each one inside, there we go. Each one inside will be testimonial thumbnail. So let's do that. So we've got testimonial thumbnail wrapper, the main kind of navigation area. Then we've got testimonial thumbnails just for the thumbnails and each individual one. Okay, that could work quite nicely, I think. Let's just copy this here. Right, so let's declare our second variable, and that will be testimonial thumbnails. And again, that's jQuery. I know it's super old, but hey, it still works. And that is testimonial-thumbnails. Okay, so now we need to link up these areas with the slick.js carousel. And I'll do this one first, which is the testimonials slider. So all I'll do is say testimonials slider dot slick, just like that. And okay, so that's done something. Let's inspect this and have a peek at what's going on. Okay, so this is connected fine here. So slick is initialized here, we can see in the DOM, and it has created some bits and bobs. Fantastic. Let me add in some more content here. So let me create a new testimonial thumbnail in here. And I'll say, instead of testimonial Robert, testimonial Clara. Change the alt tag there. Testimonial profile photo of Clara. So that's fine there for the moment. We need to kind of concentrate on this area next. And all I'm going to do is just get rid of these comments here and give this a fig caption also. So after block quotes, Clara, her surname can be spelling. And she is a web wizard, whatever that is. So she's a web wizard, Clara spelling, and here's her little testimonial. Okay, so it looks a bit rough, but it's working. We have our we have to add in some options. Basically, slick.js adds in a few kind of options for us already. We don't want these here. We can remove them in a second, but it's working, which is fantastic. So now let's start refining this testimonial area. Okay, so let's sort out this area here first and get rid of these arrows and all the rest of it. So what I'm going to do is just to say, add in some options here. So slick, and then let's say we want to append the arrows. Append capital camel case. Okay, append arrows to jQuery. And where do we want to append them to? We want to add them up here, which is testimonial thumbnail navigation. Okay. So actually, let's pop this in here as a little const as well. So I can just say testimonial thumbnail navigation is jQuery testimonial thumbnail navigation, okay, with an ID. Yeah. Now I'll say, instead of get rid of that there, so I'll say append arrows in this new area here. So save that real quick. Okay, great. Now we can see the arrows are gone from here and they're being appended to this kind of thumbnail area here, and they all work fine. We can click next and previous. Okay. We don't want the words previous and next, because as per our visual, it's literally just like a right angle and left angle bracket. So that's not a problem. We can overwrite that too. So we can actually utilize the Themify like icon library again to do this. So we can overwrite these names by saying, first of all, I think it's prev arrow. Yep, prev arrow. And first of all, I'm just going to give it a little test here. So I'll say prev. Let that load, and we get nothing. Fantastic. Maybe it has to be wrapped in a tag. Yes, it does. Okay, that's not a problem. Right, so instead of div, well, that's connected fine. So let's actually create a proper button here now. And as I say, I'm going to use the themify library for these angle, kind of angle brackets. And I think they're just called, yeah, that's it. So we've got TI angle left and TI angle right. So let's do that. So the class is this here. Now, I could add a div, but I'm just going to add in a span here for some reason. Maybe it's just a divitis in my head, too many divs, but spans are okay. So span class is TI angle right. And to target this, if I need to, which I will, I'll be positioning them a bit. I'll just say, well, I could use the TI angle right, but whatever. I'll say prev. And actually, the previous one is a left bracket. Okay, so let's do that. Close that off and close off the span tag there. Now, what happens if I save that? Have a little peek. And yes, that looks good. So now with that knowledge of the previous arrow, we can create the next arrow. And same format, we just changed the prev arrow to next arrow. Let's change that to next there. That's really just for ourselves and for our own CSS. And let's say the arrow is right. So that's there, and then there's the right arrow. So that's pretty cool. Now, instead of this kind of like carousel going from left to right or right to left, I'd rather it kind of fade in a bit. And we can do that with the fade. I think it's just fade is a Boolean value of true. Let's try that. And yes, that's it there. Perfect. So now instead of that, it's a bit more subtle. So it just kind of fades in to the next testimonial. Right. Okay. So now we need to kind of concentrate on this area here. We need to make this little mini carousel also. And this area is this testimonial thumbnails part here. So let's create a new carousel, and I'll say, where are you? Slick. There we go. Actually, let's just leave it there for the moment and see what we get. Fantastic. Okay. So again, the kind of default options for the library here are displaying. We can remove these now, no problem. But we have to kind of join these up here. So if I move this area here, fade this in, this has to connect to the correct testimonial. So first off, let me get rid of these buttons here, and then we can join them up. So again, I'm just going to use in some curly brackets here for some options, and I'll say arrows, which we do not need for this area, is false, just like that. Okay, great. Now they're kind of gone now. They've been removed. So now we need to say, do I know the format for this? I think it's as nav4. Let's see if that works. So as nav4. Okay. So to connect this here, so as nav4 is going to be up here. So testimonial slider, just like that. Save that, cross our fingers, and click this here. Okay, well that's a slider. So yeah, that's great. So if I kind of control this here, this changes here. Fantastic, but it doesn't kind of work in the opposite direction. We need to do that also up here. Not a problem. Oh, actually, just while I'm here, this fades in. This does not. Let's make this fade in also, these thumbnail images. So let's say, just say fade true. And now, boom, fantastic. Okay, so let's connect up this part here now. If we control the navigation, the carousel with this kind of area here. Right, so again, we're going to say, as for nav, copy this, paste this up here. And we're basically just going to say here, testimonial, and that's it there, testimonial thumbnails. So let me copy that, paste that in here, save that. Now, let me click these buttons here. Fantastic. Okay, beautiful. So that is essentially our little area here. Nicely working, just looks a bit crap at the moment, but we can style that now. So the first thing we probably need to do is, this is now hidden, these profile photos. So let's have a look why. And what have we got? So span 4. What would happen if I gave that a position of relative? Not a lot. Okay. Okay, what's this area here? So this is the area we need to, I think we need to kind of play with. This is the testimonial thumbnail navigation. So position absolute. And what would happen if we just gave it a cheeky little Z index? Oh, phenomenal. Okay, cool. That was pretty painless. So that is in testimonial thumbnail navigation. And I'll just pop this in here now. So change the layer stacking to index 1. And boom. Okay. Right. Let's sort these little spans here, these angle brackets left and right, to be placed down here. Okay. So these are inside of the testimonial thumbnail navigation. And let's just create a new little area for our spans. Okay, so let's say span, and let's give it a, well, I think we should probably give it a width first. So let's say the width is maybe 30 pixels by 30 pixels. Give it a background of red, my go-to color. Okay, brilliant. So that's connecting fine. Now, we do probably need to absolutely position these down here. So next up, I'll say position is absolute. And okay, so they're kind of hidden away. Let me have a look. Position, span class is here. Position absolute. Okay, well, let's say we want them at the bottom first. What happens now? Fantastic, that's good. And that's inside here, which is position absolute. Okay, that works. And let's say the right-hand side, again, is right 0. So, okay, that's good, getting there. And the other kind of icon is underneath this. So we can kind of control that in a moment, but let's kind of style this button up first, and then we can kind of move the other one to the left of it, this right-hand side button. Let's increase the width and height a little bit more. So instead of 30 pixels, let's say 35. They're just a tad small for my liking. Oh yeah, that looks better. Okay, now, what have we got? Well, the first thing I'd like to do is to change the cursor here, so we can, it kind of looks like we can click it or touch it. Oh, where are we gone here? We're at form. Let's scroll down. Okay, there we go. Okay, so span, I was going to say cursor is, I think it's pointer. And now it looks like it's actually interactive. Okay, cool. Now, instead of red, let's say it is light gray. I think that's kind of dark gray, is it? Or gray. But I think that looks okay. We can play around with it. So light gray for the moment, that's no problem. Yep, give it a cursor. Now, let's say the font's weight on this particular icon is bold. Here we go, just a touch kind of thicker. Okay, now let's say, well, we need to kind of position it here. It's all bunched up to the left. We want it kind of in the middle here. And our good friend display flex can help us out with that. So first of all, display flex, and I never seem to remember the values for this flex area. So I'm just going to let kind of Google Chrome help me out. So I'll say align items is center and justify is center. Okay, that's fine. Copy and paste these. And then let's paste them in here. Quick save. And yep, that looks pretty damn good. Happy with that. Right, maybe, no, I think that's okay for the moment. So let's leave it there. Now, so let's move the icon that's underneath here. If I delete this, boom. Oh, no, we got rid of that one. Where's the other one there? Maybe we need a Z index of 1. We do. Okay, not a problem. Z index is 1 to make them both show. And again, get rid of that. There we go. So we need to move this over 36 pixels because there's a bit of a gap here, like a 1 pixel or 2 pixel border. Right. So let's do that. So instead of targeting the generic span tag, we'll say span dot prev. I think it's previous. Yes, so it's left. Okay. So we'll say instead of right 0, let's say 40 pixels just to really see what's going on. Okay. And let's say 36 pixels. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Click left, click right. And just to better the user experience here, I'm going to add some hover states for these span buttons. So when we hover over them, the background color changes. So I'm going to say span. And when we hover over each of these kind of right or left angle bracket spans, I'll probably just say I'll just change the background color just slightly. And I'll say instead of light gray, we do have a gray color too. Save that. Oh, okay. Just like that there. Which we probably need a little transition again. Just to make it a little bit more subtle. And I'll copy this from up here. Oh. Copy that. Go back. There we go. And go back down. And I'll say each span has a transition here. Now, when we hover over, it completely goes fantastic. Why is that? Oh, I see. We have too many hyphens here. So that's just gray. Save that again. And there we go. Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe it's probably a little bit. I could add a white kind of color here for these icons, but instead of gray, light gray is fine. But no, instead of gray, when we hover over each of these, I think I'm just going to give it a a secondary color value here. And then we probably need a color also of just white to make it kind of legible. So now, yeah, that looks a bit better, I think. Okay, get rid of this red border. Well, for everything here in this area. And now this is kind of what we're left with, which I'm quite happy about, to be honest. I think it looks quite slick, and we can slide this way, or we can slide this way here, or these buttons. Fantastic. Yeah, okay, cool. So now, last part of this puzzle is to make it mobile kind of responsive and work all that way. Let's have a look what happens when we do go down. Well, let me open up the console real quick. So let's see what happens now when we go down the viewport. So, and the great thing about this kind of slick.js slider is it does kind of conform to new kind of screen widths, which is fantastic. So we can see here now, and if I press this, it still looks pretty bloody good. But what I think I'm going to do to make my life a little bit easier, once I get to a certain breakpoint, maybe 850 pixels, I'm going to remove this image here and just have this main block quote here. Yes, I think I will do that indeed. So I'll copy and paste this breakpoint here, this media query, and I'll go down here and paste it underneath our testimonials, just here. So let's get rid of the team member. And let's say we want to target this here. And this is just a span 4. So if I get rid of that, okay, cool. So I'll just say testimonials, span 4, display none. So let's see what that looks like here in kind of quote unquote desktop view. 850 pixels, boom, gone down. Okay. And now we'd like to extend kind of the main area here to the full width of the page. And I can say span 8 is, let's have a little look here. So where are you? Span 8. So grid column span 8, and we'll simply say at this breakpoint, the span is now 12, so it's full width. That looks pretty good. And it's still kind of, yeah, working away there. So 850, boom, down below. Okay, pretty cool. Now, so everything else is kind of nicely tight here with their paddings and margins. But then we still have this like kind of big bit of padding here in this area. And I think at this breakpoint, I'll just play around with the kind of padding, and I'll say, where is it here? Testimonials area. Is that correct? Is that the span? Which I think it is. Span 8 is, let me see. Oh, span 8 here. Okay, yeah. So I'll say testimonials area instead. Testimonials area. Okay. Pop these guys inside. And I'll say, I don't know, maybe, no, not 725. So say 25 pixels all the way around. Save that. Let's actually move this over a bit now. Yeah, that's so much better. Okay, so there's not a massive big kind of padding around this now. It's kind of like a lower mobile responsive view. Okay, get rid of our little console here. Okay, so now we have this nice little testimonial area that's a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more different than kind of this, you know, standard kind of carousels you see, with this little overlap image here, the icons here, little previous next buttons, and our kind of testimonial quote here. So yeah, that's it. I'll leave it there for the moment. The next video we've got is the final piece of the homepage, which is the footer. So I can't wait to get started on that in the next video. But that's it for the moment. Gonna leave it there, as I say. So thanks very much for watching, and catch you guys in the next one.